You might still be able to hear a plane. It just passed over us. And it's quite loud. So I've been thinking what to do with my garden. The shed, large shed you see back there, I want to get rid of it. It's very weather torn already and dilapidating, I think is the word. But I want to use some of those boards. Cat wants to talk to who? She wants to say something to you. And don't mind the banana peels. I'm saving them. I just had to dry them somehow. I'm saving them for fertilizer. You can basically grind them up and add them to everything, and they're great fertilizer. Anyway, I want to use those boards from the shed and build like a separator wall between well, you see where my temporary plants are in those pots and whatever you call them. They're not pots anymore. That's still my ground. And then where the grass begins, behind them, that's already the neighbor's ground. And I wouldn't mind so much the neighbor. I don't have a problem with him. But there's a lot of wind. Let me get up. I did a lot of gardening yesterday and I'm aching. I'm telling you, I'm so unfit. At any rate, you can still see some here. These are, I forgot the English word, some kind of daisies that are growing. But this is a weed. You can see it growing here. It's actually good bee fodder. So I don't want to get rid of all of it, but it's very invasive. I mean, very invasive. I haven't been here yet, around here. And you can see how it's coming further and further into my garden. So that's gotta go. So this is basically the border. I'm not quite sure. I never know if the hedge is mine or not. I want to get rid of this here. Here you can see it. Because it stings. It stings badly. And you know, these things fall down on the ground, and when you walk over that, you so easily get some into your foot. I had that done. I stepped on something, and man, it hurt for a long time. Now, as you can see, I'm one of those awful people. I love it when things grow in my garden. I love the moss. Everybody says that you have to get rid of moss and so forth. If I could, I would have the whole garden made of moss. The moss grows about to here, roughly, and hopefully it'll take over that part too, but there's very little moss over here. But I do have, as you can see, I have clover. I have some of the smaller daisies. I do have, I don't know what they're called in English. Well, maybe you can see it better in the shade. This thing here, we call it cat. She always has to be with me. Here you can see it again. The light purple flowers. We call it gundamon. I don't know what it's called, but it smells lovely. I don't have a problem with that, but I also have a lot of dandelions. A lot of them. Don't know how to get rid of that yet. I also have to figure out a way to get rid of all the grass that's growing in here. And I want to get all the plants that are growing in these separators. Now this is already broke, so, but like here, this isn't broke yet, so I'm not quite sure how to get that out. But I want to keep that. I want to keep this. They call it bamboo. I don't think it's real bamboo. Here's the dandelion. Here's the other cat. Here's my Whitey Kit. And this is Shushubuku. Well, Shushu. I just call her all kinds of things ending on oo. And she's E. So Kikapi, Lily, stuff like that. At any rate, I want to get the box tree. No, that's not what it's called. I forgot the English word. I'm sorry, my brain isn't working yet, and I know it's lunchtime. But I want to get those out. This I'm not quite sure if I can save, because it needs peat, and I bet you it's just growing in sand, which doesn't make sense. These I will replace. They are so old, they're not that great anymore. Even though I like the lichen, I think you pronounce it. But these I want to get rid of. So anyway, here's the separation. Let me see, can I zoom out? I think I may have done it. I think I zoomed out. So basically, if I look at the shed here, that little addition on the left-hand side, yes, I'm showing it, belongs to my neighbor. So the border basically runs between those two trees, which makes no sense to me. I asked my neighbor if he would sell me the land all the way to the garage. So the garage will be his, and everything to the right of it will be mine, which means we have to get the surveyor in and stuff like that. But anyway, what I want to do is here in the middle of this path with cat laying here, basically use the wood from that shed or barn, whatever, all the way down here to the sewage thingy, whatever it's called. Two cats, they're jealous of each other, as a windbreaker. On the neighbor's side, I would plant some ivy, and on my side, I haven't decided yet. The problem is, since not this thing here, but this here needs to be pumped out maybe once every 7 to 10 years. I need to make sure that they have access to it. I don't know how long the it's not a tube, what do you call it, hose with which they suck it up. I don't know how long that is, but I need to make sure that the truck can go up to probably at least to here. So you can see cats again. Horrible. And I hope that this will be far enough. But I need a windbreaker here too. Sorry, I have to stop my cats. Whitey, up. Down here. Damn cats. At any rate, what I was trying to say. All the bushes and everything that I can muster up, I will pot into containers, like those black ones. Try to get like steps in here and let them grow in those containers as far down as possible. Hopefully, as you can see, I'm going backwards now. Hopefully that will give me some kind of windbreaker. And when I turn around here, this is my front garden. As you can see, it's still not done. I want to have at least a carport here, if not a garage. I'd prefer a garage. I don't know if it's possible because we're so close to the road. I mean, so close. And I have the limitation here with the lamp, with the street lamp that cannot be moved. So I don't know, maybe get the garage. Yeah, and here we have the problem. We need the access point here from the road to get to the sewer. So I need to discuss this. Maybe, I mean, if they can just use the garage at the bottom here. Oh, there's my neighbor just passing by. If I can get the garage to go out basically where my car starts on the left hand side, then we still have some access for the truck to come up here. The problem with planting something here is that everything underneath here, and I tried it, is just gravel, like you can see here. I tried to get rid of the gravel up here because this won't be an access road anymore. And you can see the grass here, the cut grass. I did that on purpose because after a while it will turn into earth, into soil. But you can see the gravel underneath here. Everything is just gravel. I guess it's always been gravel for a long time, and they just added gravel to it on top of it and more on top of it. So it's really difficult to do something smart with it. Yeah, and here's an invasive species again. In German, I think it's called Springkraut. Spring because the seeds, when you touch them, they burst open and jump, so to speak. But that's not the only way that they, what's the word? Pro something, grow. They also have, and maybe I can pull one out. No, you don't see it here. They have, God, I don't know the word. They have roots growing on and then building new plants. So what I was trying to do here, I don't know if you heard of Mr. Dowling, excuse me, Dowling with the No Dig Garden. I think it's Christopher Dowling. Kittens. He says once it's weeded, cover everything in cardboard. I just don't have enough cardboard. And then basically keep it on there. And he says if you want to have a new bed for flowers or for anything that you want to grow on, make sure the cardboard is broad enough. Then cover it with compost. And the weeds don't really come through anymore. They do die off. I don't think they'll die off completely, as you can see here. But at least I can contain them a little more. Because as you can see, they're really everywhere and they're between the offshoots of the trees. And it's so hard to get there. So I have to keep digging and digging and digging on those. Really horrible. And yeah. And I don't know what I'm gonna do back there where the shed is. I'm gonna keep that, I know for sure. I'm gonna keep these columns here. There's one here and one on the other side because this is the door, of course. Here's the other column. I'm gonna put the fence around there, just hanging it up on some hooks, and use that fence as support for any climbers. Don't know yet what climbers they will be. Probably clematis, but yeah. And this is where my cats love to lay. They just this is from the cats. I think you can see that. Mostly Whitey. And Shushu is here. She always follows me around. She always has to be where I am. Yeah, at any rate. So I still have a lot of weeding to do. As you can see, there's more of that Springkraut over here. And I have to get rid of these stinging thingies. Beißdorn. I don't know the English word for it. But yeah, you touch it and you usually have some kind of injury. So, I still have a lot of things to do. Hopefully it'll work out the way I want it to. So, that's my garden. Those are some of my plans. I think I told you that I want a winter garden. Basically from the left-hand corner of the door, probably a little further to the left, all the way to the almost the end of the building. And what you see is the terrace there. That will become my winter garden. I hope. We'll see. But first I have to figure out how to get these plants out of those whatever they're called. So yeah. That's a cherry tree, but I think it belongs to my neighbor. However, every once in a while I'll steal some. Yeah, we've got some white, is it white lilacs? Is that how you call it? Unfortunately it's white. I prefer the deep purple ones. But yeah, I probably have to contain that too. So far I don't mind the lilac because I love the smell. These are raspberries, but they're not very good, so I will get rid of them too. This is basically the corner I haven't worked on yet. Cat. I'm telling you, she's always following me. Go shush. Oh, freilich. Oh. You see, I think you do. You see the excrements of something? Those might be hedgehogs. Because they usually come and feed on the cat food that I put out for another cat. For the black cat. You might remember that I have this black cat who always stops by. This is a Weigelia. You use the same term, I think. Not quite sure if it survived, because so far I don't see any sign of life on it. So we'll see what comes out. Anyway, I want to move that. If this is still alive, this is an azalea, I think. If I can keep that, I would move that too. This is a beautiful tree once it's in flower. A harlequin tree, I think it's called. I'll show you once it's not in flower, when the leaves are out. And this, I thought it's great, you know, an early bloomer, the forsythia. That's how you pronounce it. I thought it's a great addition, you know, giving blooms, early blooms to the insects. They don't. So in other words, it's absolutely useless. It's just a yellow plant. Not quite sure if I'm keeping that. I've cut it down. That's why it's so small. I may get rid of it altogether. And I have to get rid of that too. It's dying. I think it caught some drought. And as you can see, it's dying. This is something I will turn into compost and then use as cover for the first layer of cardboard, as per Mr. Dowling. So yeah, this is an apple tree that should never have been planted here. It's way too close to the house, and it's doing no good to the terrace. But my cats love it, as you can see. So at the moment I'm keeping it because it also provides shade. When the leaves are out, the sun is moving, aiming you at the sun. The sun is moving over there, so both the cherry tree and this apple tree are providing nice and well needed or badly needed shade in the afternoon. But I'm growing some more bushes and so forth, as you can see here. I just have to plant them. And hopefully I'll get some more shade throughout the garden. I just have to have, the first things done. Like I already spoke to someone. We will correct this step here and put some sandstones along the bottom border, fill it up with soil, put some steps somewhere in here. I don't know where yet. Doesn't really matter to me. It's probably best to do it somewhere around here, for the simple reason, if that's the winter garden and I come out either on the side or what's facing us, then this would probably be the best place for steps. Not directly opposite the winter garden, but here. Steps leading up with some plants on either side. Should be nice, I think. At any rate, okay, I've been babbling on for too long with too many words that I couldn't remember the English word for. My brain's not working yet. And I know it's already past lunch, but my brain isn't working today. I'm so tired. I almost fell asleep earlier. So here's the Gundermann again. Like I said, I don't know what it's called in English, but they're beautiful. I love those little flowers that grow naturally. And the bees love them. The bees love them. So at any rate, that's my garden. Small, hopefully a little bigger by the end of the year with the shed gone. I'll just have a new but much smaller shed for, the lawnmower and the tools and so forth, hidden behind the trees. So basically adjacent to the garage. And then all this will be mine. The tree in the background is a plum tree. That also belongs to me. I cannot get to it. I cannot. No, that's the big one is an apple tree. I'm sorry. And you may be able to make it a smaller one to the right of it. That's a plum tree. Can't get to them. We'll see. Still have a lot to do. So anyway, I just wanted to send you another video and talk to someone, because talking to cats all the time is kind of unsatisfactory. And I don't know if you can see it through the screen door, but there's Jeannie. Jinda. Yes, Jeannie. Don't look at all the crap that's in there. That's Jeannie. She's a gorgeous cat. Right, Gina? So anyway, okay, I've been droning on for too long. You have a lovely, wonderful, beautiful, enjoyable weekend, Sunday. And I'll talk to you soon.